Sorry for the length. Thanks for reading. In 2017, I got a job back home and moved in with my mom. I started looking for a place to live. My mom already owned property close by, and we made a plan to build a house on it where I could live with my aging grandmother. The deal was my grandmother would pay for the house to be built, and I would pay for all property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, etc. I would not have a mortgage and I would inherit the house when she passes. Before the house was finished being built, I started to get cold feet. I always wanted to live closer to the mountains and I really didn't care how sweet this deal was if I was not going to be happy with the location. I begged my brother, I'll call Chaz, and his wife, 32F, to take the house and I would go live up north. Meaning that Chaz and his wife would get the same deal I was offered. They declined again and again. They wanted privacy and this situation didn't offer a lot of that. I was stuck because my grandmother needed to live with someone and no one else wanted to do it. Anyway, I've lived here ever since it was completed in 2019. I had 2 giant mango trees, one in the front yard on GMA's side and one in the backyard on my side. The one on my side is within a fence where my dogs go potty and run around. They are 2 different species of mango. I do not eat a lot of mangoes. But Chaz loves fruit trees and would come over 2 to 3 times a week during mango season to pick the mangoes to eat, sell, and give to friends. My GMA started nagging me and my parents to remove the mango tree in the front yard because she was tired of picking up branches and fruit. Mangoes were falling on the roof. Mangoes were falling into my neighbor's driveway, causing him to relocate one of his vehicles, and she just hates trees for some reason. I was not particularly attached to the tree. The nagging was incessant and it was damaging the roof, so my dad called a tree trimmer to come by for a quote to remove the front mango tree. When he showed up, the quote was pretty low and he said he could do it right then and there. I did not have a whole lot of time to make the decision because I spoke to this man between meetings. I said yes, go ahead and get it done. Chaz is absolutely livid. He was very attached to this tree because he liked this species of mango better than the species of my other tree, and he and his wife and daughter don't need to worry about stepping in dog poo while picking the fruit like they would have to if they picked from the backyard tree. Chaz has also lost income from selling mangoes. I do not know how much because I was never involved in that process. His wife said this tree means as much to her and Chaz as my dog that passed in April meant to me. This whole situation has me pretty upset, but that comment just brings me to tears. I feel bad about removing the tree. I miss it. I wish I had just trimmed it away from the house and neighbor. I also feel very bad for Chaz. I did not know this was such an important tree to him. I did not consider him in this decision. I didn't feel I needed to at the time. I apologized to him and his wife. I told them I didn't know it was so important and that I should not have done it. But the tree is gone. While my parents and I were away over the weekend, Chaz came over to see my grandmother. Apparently, he saw the pile of cut mango tree at the road and saw it. He took a chainsaw to the other trees in my front yard. He completely cut down a 10-foot foxtail palm and cut large limbs off some other trees. Chaz said that we, meaning me, my GMA, my parents, anyone who was involved in the tree decision, were going to pay for cutting down the mango tree, and that everyone was going to think twice before cutting down another tree or he would do this again. As soon as my GMA called me and told me Chaz was out there with a chainsaw, I called the police and they filed a report. I did not press charges. My oldest brother, 34 meters, I'll call Mark, stopped by to talk to the police and clean up the mess Chaz left. Chaz is now demanding that my GMA pays $4K to have another mango tree planted in its place or he will come over with a sledgehammer and destroy her kitchen. I'm concerned that this stress can hurt my GMA because she is 89. I'm concerned for her safety because he is acting pretty crazy. I'm concerned for my safety and the safety of my dogs. I never thought Chaz would do something like he did, and his behavior is just pretty erratic right now. My mom has tried to offer solutions, Plant a mango tree in Chaz's yard, and he won't have to worry about this, and it will be easier to collect fruit. Chaz says no, he has already planned his fruit trees meticulously, and he had already planned to have the 2 mango trees in my yard pick mangoes from the tree in the backyard of my house. No, Chaz and his wife don't like the dog poo in the backyard. Let's try to figure out how you can compensate for lost mango selling revenue. No, Chaz wants the tree. I love Chaz and his wife. I have apologized to them. I did not remove the tree to hurt them. But I do not want to have another mango tree planted because I do not have $4K. I would have to routinely have it trimmed so it would not damage the roof, and $10K if I would have control over being able to manage it, because my brother would certainly claim this tree and not allow me to touch it, even though it is on my property. As far as I can tell, Chaz and his wife are on the same page. They have started saying things along the lines of Srirachamango got that house for free, so it's not even hers, and I owe this to them, because I'm not paying a mortgage. I've started looking into a restraining order for my GMA against Chaz, but I'm finding it hard to find one that applies. Live in FL. If he actually does come back and damage my GMA's kitchen, I'll have to press charges, and I really don't want to. Before this tree was removed, I had a great relationship with Chaz and his wife. I really want to keep that relationship. How do I get them to calm and stop the threats and not plant a new mango tree in my yard? TLDR. I, 28F, removed a mango tree from my yard. My brother, 30 meters, loved the mango tree very much and is pissed. He took a chainsaw to other trees in my yard. He is now demanding my grandmother, 89F, pays $4K to have the tree replaced, otherwise he will come back and destroy her kitchen with a sledgehammer. How do I keep a good relationship with my brother and not plant another tree in my yard? Edit. Even though it is not on my property. Change to even though it is on my property. Update. Thank you all for your advice. I'm continuing to read all the comments. Many are helpful. I called his wife and told her I was preparing to file a restraining order and asked her to talk to him. He called back and apologized. He said he was never planning to hurt anyone nor actually come back and damage her kitchen. He just said he wanted to scare my GMA because he thought she was being childish, lol, by saying she'd rather spend money at the casinos than buy him a new tree. I didn't know she said that, but it 100% sounds like her. I believe his apology was sincere. I don't believe he would ever hurt his wife or children. In the end, he said he's only mad at my GMA. She has done something similar in the past, and he still has not forgiven her for it. PS In response to many comments, I already have an external security system and had it upgraded recently, although I don't think I'll need it. Chaz did not I won that tree. Your grandma did. He has already created damage and now he is threatening violence and you won't press charges? How does that make sense to you? Quit tolerating his violent conduct and get him arrested and charged. Op and a lot of his family seem like enablers of Chaz. Like it seems like Chaz has gotten everything he's ever wanted in his life and this is the first time they are denying him anything, so now his true colors are showing. Op continues to be an apologist for his asshole of a brother and I'm betting that they won't do S*** and just capitulate to Chaz. Your brother is being unreasonable. From the looks of it, the land is your mother's and you and grandma own a house together. He has no ownership of any of this. He has his own house, right? So put up a tree there if he loves his mangoes so much. You don't mention that he is actively struggling for money or work, so it doesn't seem like the mango business was a huge impact on his financials, and if it was, he probably should have laid that out to you in some way and maybe even cut you in on the sales profits, so you would know to keep the trees up, even if they are a pain in the neck. Any of your mother's suggestions will be fine, but he seems unwilling to budge. Just disengage and continue legally if he insists on destroying your and GMA's property. Seems like there was money or other benefits coming from the mangoes. Because of his greedy behavior not sharing with the family the money he was making, no one else knew the tree was so valuable. If he had shared, you would all have known to keep the tree. Not his property, not his tree. Your brother is way out of line. Please file a restraining order to keep him away from your grandmother and off your property. Call the police anytime he comes on the property and install security cameras. They are very cheap on Amazon. Try blink, so you have proof if he does cause any further damage. He is overreacting and it sounds like there may be some mental health concerns as well, because his reaction to you cutting a tree down on your own property is very irrational. His violent responses to this are even more concerning. This is not normal. I feel bad for his kids. Damn, how good are these mangoes? I get being attached to a tree, but this is so over the top and I've read too many novels and I'm like, did Chaz bury a body under the damn tree? Press charges. He's threatening you and your grandmother. He sounds absolutely nuts. You can't maintain a good relationship with someone who irrationally threatens you, and I don't know why you'd want to. If he wants a mango tree of his own so badly, let him plant one in his yard. No, he's already meticulously planned his fruit trees. This plan includes at least 2 trees on someone else's property lol. He's a delusional weirdo. If he's trespassed and cut down your other trees, you also have a potential tort claim. Depending on your state and the replacement value of the trees he felled, you may be entitled to anywhere from a few $1,000s to quite a bit more, up to 3x more than the cost to replace them. Consult an arborist regarding the value of the trees he damaged, and then a lawyer, if the figure is high enough. Also gather as much evidence as possible. Get text message admissions if you can, to prove he destroyed them. Also gather documentation regarding the trees themselves to help with the appraisal. Source: am lawyer. Don't forget to post on /r/legaladvice about him chopping down your trees. They live for tree law. Just don't actually take advice from /r/legaladvice, since it tends to be terrible. If it goes beyond talk to a lawyer. Tree law, tree law, tree law. First, I'd make sure he can't enter the house. Change the locks, if he has a key. Put up cameras, maybe even a fence. Get that restraining order. And then report every single thing he's done to the police. And keep reporting him. Your brother is a dangerous person. What the F*** did I just read? Chaz Bono went off the deep end about mango. You are living in a place you don't want to live to care for a family member nobody else stepped up to help, and this guy's reaction is to threaten to destroy your home, and you're really gonna waste your energy feeling like the bad guy here? I would call the cops and document the situation and the threat. I'd tell him he had the opportunity to take the house and the trees. He declined, so the topic is closed, and because of his threats, if I see him or his family members on the property again, I'm calling the cops and pressing charges against him for the property damage and harassment. Yeah, he declined the responsibility to take care of grandma. He wasn't the one caring for her and listening to her complain about the mango tree. If he was in that position, he would have been free to find a different solution. But he wasn't. Florida has a specific department just for elder abuse. You don't need to do this on your own. Call them. The number is 1.800.962.2873 800.96. And tell them exactly what you wrote here, clarifying Chaz was making money from your grandma's property and is now threatening her and her caregiver, which is you. As others have said, it's your grandma's house and trees. Chaz passed on taking care of your grandma, probably for the best, it sounds like, the house and the tree. Instead, he decided you'll be a caretaker while he comes in, pigeon style, to make some easy money. This isn't uncommon in Florida, with all the elderly people there, but is both illegal and immoral. Call the above number and let the professionals handle it. Call the police. Give me $4,000 or I'll destroy your home. Why is this even a question? Also get a Ring camera for your front yard and home. The idea that we are even sitting here discussing if you're being a big ol' meanie when someone is literally extorting you at the threat of violence is mind-boggling. And BTW. No. Tree you liked cause you made free money off it equals pain of losing a pet. Those people are nuts. Cut them off. Call the cops. He wanted to scare my GMA because he thought she was being childish. The update makes this worse. They just forgave him and will probably end up accommodating him with a new tree in some way. I feel bad for his family. You all just reinforced that you can go nuts and threaten to hurt someone to get your way, but so long as you say you're sorry, it all goes away. No one gets this bad without it happening before. And this is why he's like this in the first place. Total lack of consequences. What is wrong with your and your family? This is absolutely insane behavior. It was not his tree. It was your grandmother's to do with as she pleased. Why are you all trying to placate someone who had zero claim to this tree in the first place? And why on God's earth are you trying to placate someone who is obviously unhinged? If he did this to someone who was not a relative, he'd most likely be in jail right now. Who raised your brother to be this entitled? Why are you all enabling him to continue this behavior? This is the type of person you cut out of your life, not try to placate to keep in your life. Did he fertilize the mango tree with meth? Was the inside of the tree peppered with diamonds? Was he having an affair with the tree? Why have you taken his psychotic break as a reasonable thing to come to a compromise on? Like take the evidence of him threatening your grandma to the cops. Girl, are you okay? Your brother is an unhinged, abusive violent user who wants the mangoes and the money from selling them with zero work. He's destroyed a lot of property and threatened more damage. His place is in prison, not being apologized to. How even can you think you're in the wrong even by a tiny bit? You are ridiculous. Charge your brother ASAP. He's a menace. If he's doing this to family, what is he doing to people he doesn't care about? Your grandma is being threatened. Do something. You should absolutely press charges. The mango trees could have both been your brother's, but he didn't want the sweet deal on the house. He is not entitled to jack shit on your property, and if I found out one of my sisters was making apparently a decent chunk of money off my property, I would have a conniption fit. So 1. Your brother feels entitled to profit off your and your grandmother's property. 2. Won't put in any work to maintain his cash cow like trimming the tree so it doesn't damage your property or cleaning the backyard so he can access the other tree. 3. Is willing to threaten violence against his 89-year-old grandmother and his younger sister. He is a major asshole. I'm sure you love him, but he could legitimately kill your grandmother and he has no respect for you. I would press charges in a heartbeat. It's especially frightening that he's acting like this with kids on the way. I have suspicion something else is hiding under the death of that mango tree. Normal, healthy people grieving or struggling with transitions may behave erratically, but ***actively using a chainsaw in response to a sudden feeling of anger and making additional threats paired with violence/destroying property is an incredibly intense reaction. If he was just saying these things with no history of action it may be less concerning, still unacceptable, but how quickly he went from 0 to 100 makes me wonder if there are other issues, like financial distress or drug use or maybe mental health that is being overlooked due to the context. Right now he is literally threatening and extorting your family and that is bizarre. No guilt should be letting that by. Pressing charges is a good idea here, as is a psych eval. None of this is normal. You need in-person professional help, not Reddit. Yeah, Chaz doesn't get access to this property anymore. He was given the opportunity you were given, and turned it down. You aren't ruining anything, he is. Tell him the next time he shows up uninvited you, or your grandma are calling the cops, and tell him he is lucky you aren't pressing charges for the damages to the trees he caused. You need an emergency restraining order. You need to look out for your grandma. If you don't have 4k for a new mango tree then do you have money for a new kitchen and grandma's funeral? You honestly need to get your head out of the sand. His wife said this tree means as much to her and Chaz as my dog that passed in April meant to me. I'll be worried about your dogs too if he can act like this. Took a chainsaw to the other trees in my front yard. He completely cut down a 10-foot foxtail palm and cut large limbs off some other trees. Or he will come over with a sledgehammer and destroy her kitchen. If he can do this towards his GMA and his sister, what's to stop him from doing this to you both, or your dogs? Oh my god, wake up and smell the mangoes. Chaz is batshit and scary, and you should be trying to put as much distance as possible between him and you, and especially your poor grandma. The only way Chaz is going to be content is to get everything his way and he's willing to be belligerent and violent, and threatening to get it. Seriously not worth it. Threatening an old lady's kitchen with a sledgehammer. Taking a chainsaw to your yard? Next time it will be your kneecaps. Dude seriously thinks he's the kingpin in the mango mafia. That is his life. What the actual fuck? You should have pressed charges. Sue him in civil court for the value of the trees he destroyed. That will likely exceed the maximum for small claims in your state. Buy a gun for to defend against Sledgehammer. Don't buy one for your grandmother if she isn't willing to use it. Your brother is insane. You should file for a restraining order against him before he kills you or your grandma. What the hell did I just read? Your brother is willing to threaten, destroy, damage, scare, and otherwise harass you and your grandma, and you are worried about his feelings? Chainsaws, sledgehammers, and an unchecked rage. For fuck's sake. You should have gone through with the charges. Someone is going to get seriously hurt or worse. It doesn't matter what you do at this point. The relationship is damaged. Why didn't you press charges? Get a restraining order. That is your property and you can do what you want. That is not his property and he can't destroy anything on it. Is this your 6'FT 340 pound brother? A large man threatening violence with a sledgehammer and that has already destroyed property with a chainsaw? Are you waiting for him to attack one of you? Press charges. No, that is my older brother that came by to help clean up. This sounds so unhinged, it's crazy to me what people will choose to overlook for family. Need to remove this sub from my feed, it just gives me stress for no reason. Are you really prepared to endanger your parents and grandmother to please your brother? Your brother sounds unhinged and dangerous. He's threatening his family over a tree that he has never owned. He needs a serious reality check, and if the message is not received without involving the police, then so be it. Why aren't your parents intervening? Aren't they worried about your grandma? Chaz can go buy mangoes from a stall like everyone else. He is owed nothing in this scenario. If anything, he has costs to pay for the damage he did on other people's property.